For the recent Motociclo Motoguzzi Club of NSW Ride Day, I was lucky enough to land a Centenario V9 Bobber to take part in the activities. It revealed itself as a significant update on the platform from when I last tested a 744cc V7 many years ago. The V9 Bobber receives the larger 853cc engine derived from the V85 TT in a lower state of tune, which is mirrored in the newer V7s and covers my main criticism from riding the V7 all those years ago, of an engine just a bit too languid for my preference. The new donk adds 15 horsepower and 8 Nm of torque in comparison, both of which I felt were clearly noticeable improvements that were appreciated. The V9 Bobber, as the name suggests, is the version running 16-inch rims and chunky tires to match, along with mainly blacked-out features, a shorter front end and lower flatter bars in comparison to the Roamer. It lacks the Roamer's screen for wind protection. The V9 Bobber is a low, lean and minimalist machine, in cruiser terms anyway, with a 210 kg wet weight, inviting 785mm seat height and a nice boost of performance over the older 744cc powerplant. The Guzzi V-twin was virtually completely redesigned with two objectives: first, Euro 4 compatibility in terms of noise and emissions, and second, maximization, not of power but of torque, with the specific aim being for 95% of the new unit's grunt being available below 3,000 revolutions per minute. To achieve that, the V7 derived motor has had its biggest makeover in recent memory. At the bottom end, the crankcases have been extensively modified with new oilways to improve cooling and reduce power losses, while there's a new wet sump and generator cover. The top end, meanwhile, is all new, although still an air-cooled twin pushrod, 2-valver. Displacement is increased to 853cc via both larger bore and stroke. While Guzzi has also added what it calls an auxiliary air system, plus fitted a new 3-way catalytic converter in the stainless 2-into-2 exhaust to help achieve Euro 4. Induction is by a single throttle body Magneti Marelli fuel injection system. Nor do the revisions end there. The transmission gets a larger diameter single-plate clutch to help cope with the added torque, while the 6-speed gearbox gets an extensive makeover with a new primary drive which alters the overall ratio, plus taller first and sixth and cogs, the latter now intended as a kind of cruising overdrive. Even the cylinder fins are revised to be more rounded, while the shaft drive housing is new to accommodate the wider 150 rear tire. Reliability is generally excellent, although examples of bikes with high mileage are rare. The V9's chassis and running gear gets more changes than you might expect, although the V7's tubular steel, twin-loop frame is essentially the same. That bike's 17-inch roadster wheels have been swapped for new 19/16 of an inch and 16/16 of an inch combos. The smaller rear wheel combines with shorter Kayaba shocks to give a lower rear end, while at the front both bikes share non-adjustable 40mm conventional forks. The Roamer is an easy, unintimidating, novice-friendly machine, very much in the V7 mold, and yet one with a touch more cruiser posture and a tad more low-down punch. Its 19 inches front wheel makes the steering seem a little lighter and less planted and assured, but not markedly so. It's an old-school, fairly basic roadster or cruiser hybrid, and not much more than that. The Bobber has far more badass, hardcore attitude. Its more forward-canted riding position is sportier, more aggressive, and the revised geometry means you feel a stronger, more assured connection to the front wheel, enough to have you throwing it more eagerly into turns. The Roamer is the better bet here, more laid back with a more relaxed riding position and thicker seat, meaning it's fine over reasonable distance. With no fairing or screen, however, it's no real touring bike. The Bobber, with its thinner seat, exaggerates the V9's already slightly harsh rear ride, compounding its emphasis on style rather than comfort.